Hi guys, I'm Samina and today on the Cupcake Confession I'm going to show you how to make cornflakes and milk chocolate brownies. Now I know you're probably questioning why you're on my channel after reading this, and you're probably thinking, why in the world would you make a brownie and call it cornflakes and milk? Well, here's my attempt to explain why I chose to make this recipe. So I'm the kind of person that gets bored very easily with food, especially with a lot of things really. Like, I need something new every single time. I eat the same thing every single day, I'm going to be bored and I will not be able to look at that for the next million years. And breakfast's always been like my sore point because I never know what to eat. So there was this time where I would always eat cornflakes and milk because hey, it's really easy. Like, bowl, cornflakes, milk, done. But no, that cannot happen every single day, and I found that out when I couldn't eat cornflakes and milk for another day. I couldn't even look at it. And I really wanted something decadent and something really sugary, chocolatey and delicious. So I started eating brownies. To me that, well, brownies taste good. Cornflakes and milk are, well, delicious. I looked at chocolate brownies and I knew there was cornflakes and milk. And I was like, well, why not just bring them together? Like, make chocolate brownies in a way that could resonate with cornflakes and milk. Two real stark opposites, but they come together really beautifully in this recipe, and I really hope you give it a try because it's just quirky and you'll like it. Here's how you make the recipe. Over a saucepan with simmering water, I'm going to put a bowl with my dark chocolate chunks and butter and give it a good mix. Also make sure that the water does not touch the top of that bowl. It's just about 1 inch or so and it's simmering. It's not even boiling, it's just simmering, and I'm just going to mix it all till it becomes nice and molten. When there are just a few chunks of butter and chocolate left, I'm going to take it off from that saucepan and let the residual heat melt the rest of the chunks of the butter and chocolate, because I don't want to seize the chocolate in any way or heat it to a temperature that's unnatural for the chocolate to be heated to. So once that has happened and it's nice and silky and smooth, it's time to add the sugar, because while the mix is still hot, the sugar will start to melt. I'm going to change my spatula for my whisk and give it a good whisk till it all comes together. Once that has happened, I will also make sure that the sides of the bowl are quite cool before I start adding the eggs in. And I'm also going to add them one at a time and give them a generous whisk, because that's what will give you a lovely crackly top when the brownies bake in the oven. So once I've added my final egg, it's time to add the rest of the ingredients. So I'm going to add my vanilla extract, again give it a good mix, and once that has happened, it's time now to add my dry ingredients. So I'm going to sift in the flour and milk powder and now the decadent cocoa powder as well. Give it a good mix, shuffle it all in, and then I'm just going to mix till it's well combined and not go overboard. I do not want to whisk at this stage. I'm just mixing till it all comes together very gently. Once the batter starts looking more like a brownie batter that's uniform and thick and luscious, it's time to add the magic ingredient that will add an incredible amount of crunch to these brownies. That's my beautiful cornflakes. They go into the batter and you just mix it until they are just combined. At this stage, I also want you to pay attention to preheating your oven to 170 degrees Celsius. It needs to be nice and hot by the time your brownie batter is ready, at least 10 minutes well in advance. So I'd say before you start making your batter or your recipe, go on and preheat your oven. I have a 9 inch by 9 inch baking pan which I have lined with parchment paper. So I'm just going to pour all of my brownie batter into this pan and just smooth out the surface with my spatula. This will now go in the oven for 22 minutes. It could be a minute or so more or less depending on how your oven works. Once it's out of the oven, I'm going to let it cool completely. Just insert a skewer and it should come out clean to check for the doneness of this brownie. Once it's out of the oven, after they've cooled completely, I'm just going to slice them into 9 pieces and they're ready to go. These are best served with a glass of milk poured over the brownie. So what happens is the brownie absorbs all of that milk, so you get the incredibly decadent and fudgy taste from the brownies, and also the surprising cornflakes and milk flavor as well. That just makes it beautiful. So that is it, guys. That was my recipe for cornflakes and milk chocolate brownies. Now again, like I stated before, if you're not feeling very adventurous someday and you're like, you know what, I would love to make cornflakes and milk chocolate brownies but not today, just completely take out the cornflakes and milk element, that's the milk powder and the cornflakes, out of the recipe, and you have a really chocolatey, fudgy, decadent, delicious chocolate brownie. You will never lose with this recipe. It's a win-win for both situations, you guys. So now that you have the recipe in your arsenal, well, the recipe is on my blog, so you just have to click the link in the description below. In the description box below, you will also find a link to all the baking paraphernalia that I have used, the elements that go into it, so whether it's the brownie pan, the ingredients, everything basically. You'll find the link in the description below. The whole recipe itself is on my blog, and I really hope you give this a go. As always, if you like the recipe, give it a thumbs up, and if you have any suggestions, any feedback, recommendations, any flavor combinations, like quirky ones like this one that you would want me to make, if anything, if there is a recipe that you want to learn how to make, pop them down in the comments below. I will have a read through it, and I will definitely work on making that happen for you. And if you want to be notified every time I post a recipe on my YouTube, I post every Tuesday and Thursday, so if you want a notification, subscribe to my channel and you'll be notified every time I post a new recipe. Now I hope you make these, and I will see you again soon. Bye.